physically, mentally? How was your work week?
I'm good. This week was a good week. Physically, I'm feeling fine. Mentally, I'm good.
Mhm.
So I really can't complain. What about you?
That's good, man. I'm doing good, man. I just actually drove home, man, because Courtney out with Jordan. They went to North Carolina, so I drove home for the weekend. But I
Okay.
just got back, so I'm good. I was able to lay down for a couple minutes and then come and do this. So I'm good,
Nice. I guess I'm in the same boat. I'm actually home with my family now, right now too. So it feels good.
man. That's what's up, man. So I would say, this is just read it, man. Would you say you're living life, or you adapting to the life that was given to you?
Wow. Starting it off hard hitter question. Um, Definitely that I think that's the easy answer for me.
Mhm.
I'm definitely adapting to the life that was, you know, I guess set up for me or as I should say, and I kind of hate the way that sounds, but just being honest, I think I'm more so, especially because I'm in the process of um, trying to identify a therapist. So I've been talking to a lot of different people in that field, trying to, fill out who was right for me. And in our initial conversations, that word adapting comes up a lot. So that's why it was very easy for me to answer that question.
Uh,
So yes, definitely adapting.
Cool. I mean, that's cool, man. Especially with us being black. I mean, I would say starting with that. A lot of times we do have to adapt to the things that come, like a job, like
Yeah.
some things that we do, or some things that goes on in the family. And I thought about it today, and I was like, this would be a great question to ask, because I think a lot of people, we get it misconstrued with, oh, we live in life, man, we good. But it's like, I'm adapting to what's coming, but I'm gonna be all right. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be okay. So with that, man, so how is your day-to-day job, working for Couric Media, man? How is that?
It's interesting. It's never something that I thought I would be
Mhm.
doing. If you asked me what I would be doing, I never thought it would be working with that person. But my day-to-day job, it's good. Um, I work in the media and the news field. We all know, she's a major figure in news and media. So I wake up, every day reading the news, honestly, not watching the news, but reading it, getting newsletter emails on my phone and, just Twitter, something, sometimes not always as credible, but, I get a lot of my sources, on my phone, and that's how my day starts. And then my day begins going into doing things for other people and just managing people, managing projects, um, try to take some time for myself in that day,
Mhm.
um, and then it's back to doing things for other people and my day-to-day job, and then that continues throughout the week.
Cool, man, I can understand. That's like most of us. I would say, you work because you're building on something. And I seen when you sent the questions the other night, and I've been new this anyway, because most of us had the entrepreneurial spirit in us. Like,
Yeah.
if you could give me anything, you could open up a business or just start a business, not a small business, but a business. What would it be?
Wow, it would definitely be something that's geared toward the culture. I could tell you that much. It would be something that's for us. Um, it would probably be something that's a resource for our community. I have something in the works,
Mhm.
kind of that's relative to what that is. And I don't want to speak too much on it, but it would definitely be something that is for us. That's a resource that we could utilize. That's going to push us further.
Got you. I like that. I like that how you just kept on keeping the box there now. But I can't wait till it come out, man. I can't wait. So
Yeah.
with that, man, what is your it factor, man? Why you do what you do?
Um, I do what I do
Mm.
just to have a better life, honestly. Um, but I do what I do because I know I'm outside of that. I know there's a creative factor in me. And I feel like there's something in me that the world could use. And I think that's what drives me and pushes me. It's like, I know I have a unique voice, I have a unique perspective, I have unique ideas as any individual, but I feel like there's something in me that maybe I haven't even tapped into yet. I don't know what it is, but I know there's something in me that the world needs, to see, that the world, could benefit from, essentially. So I don't know, I haven't identified what that it factor is necessarily, but I know that there is something,
Respect. I like that, man. I respect that because I feel like everyone, when they answer that question, we're like, oh, it's this. But the fact that you tailor it that way, that's amazing because I feel like we have multiple it factors. We just don't know them, or some of them, they come out and you don't even notice. It's just like me being now doing this show for 3 years. It's like when I say the word 3 years, I'd be like, oh, you told me when I was in college I was going to be doing something like this. I'd be like, no, I'm just going to be an engineer. We're going to figure this out. It's going to be this. Because you have such a plan, but like life is unplanned.
Yeah, I feel like there's multiple it factors, like you said, in every aspect of whatever we're doing. Like, I guess also one of my it factors is like, being of service to others, being a steward to others. Like, I don't know, I think we need more of that. So I think that's one of my it factors that I bring out or put into the world.
Definitely. I definitely speak on that too. Even from my time, just me from time to time, I would see that. I feel like a lot of our friends are too. I feel like it's good to serve other people because in that you find out like, dang, I'm doing the right thing. That's what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, man, I would say, so what is one of your ultimate like life goals? It could be anything. Anything got to be work related, just life related.
Yeah. One of my life goals is just to be, this may sound a little weird, but like, I just want to be known for doing something positive, something good, or multiple things in that nature. Like just doing good things. So like, that's Destin Torrance, he da 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 da. Like, I want to be known for doing something of use that's to other people, just helping, whatever, in whatever capacity. That's what I want to be known for, is leaving a mark for doing something good. Like, nobody wants to be known for doing something, bad.
I respect that. So in that, just to pivot a little bit, how was your experience at St. John's University? How was that?
Wow. I feel like it truly shaped me. Looking back on it, being there. Wow. A week from yesterday will be, a week from yesterday will be 5 years since I graduated, I think, I want to say. So I would truly say that St. John shaped me. For those who don't know, like, St. John's is in Queens, it's in New York City, which at the time, and maybe still, could be the media capital of the world. And I always knew that I wanted to be in like the public relations media aspect. So it made sense to go to school in New York, being that I wanted to be a public relations major. And not knowing it at the time when I went there, after going there, a lot of the professors there are actively like working in the field. So like they're working as PR, directors or whatever, but they're still teaching. So you're kind of getting active lessons. So like they're bringing in worldly examples and, experiences from things that are actually happening, or like accounts or projects that they're actively working on or have worked on in the past, and using those in class. So you're kind of getting real life or real experiences from your professor, and not just textbook examples. So I'm getting like really good, presentations and, experts coming in outside of the professor, because they have these utensils and these resources from people that are actively working in New York City. So it's kind of like you're getting a mini internship in in class, but then going and experiencing and actually doing internships in the city and working in the city. It gives you a whole drive and a whole different experience that I feel like a lot of people don't get because they go to school in other states. You know what I mean? Like going to school in New York is totally different from going to school in Maryland or somewhere, you know what I mean? So I really feel like it shaped me into the professional that I am because I had the opportunity to go to school in New York, because so many big businesses and so many big names are in New York. It it gave me a lot of opportunity and a lot of more playing fields. And I really liked that. Like for example, I would have never secured the job that I'm at right now had I not, been involved and done all of that stuff and went to school in New York and got internships in New York and, just worked and see how they play out there and how they work out there. It truly shaped me and shaped the experiences I was able to be a part of, and not only the experiences, but the people I was also able to meet. That's a big thing. And it's crazy because New York has changed, ever since, the pandemic and all of that. But yeah, I think going to St. John's paved the way for all of that to happen, which is crazy. And I never would have thought, going to, a private university in Queens would have allowed for me to do all of these things. And who knows where I'm going to go next, you know what I mean? So.
Hey man, that's amazing. I didn't know much about St. John's. You and Courtney, the only person I ever heard from St. John's, and also J. Cole. But
yes. Everybody knows J. Cole, or like they know it because it's a really good basketball school or like a big basketball school. So outside of St. John's, you would really never know. One thing I did know about St. John's before I went there also is that it was a really diverse university, like one of the most, like in the top 10 or top 7, top 5 most diverse universities in the United States. So I think that's also another thing. I went to school with every single type of person you can think of, like every single type of person that identifies went to St. John's. I promise you that.
That's amazing. That's an amazing experience too. I think back to my time at Clark and then going to the University of Northeastern in Boston and having that different shift of worlds. But at the time when I was at Clark, the funny thing about that HBCU is like how they push so much into the engineering. And they put so much into it. They're like media. Yes, we had a big media company, the Spike Lee's, people like that. But it's like what you just said, when you like, oh, we got experience, the professor brought in these people. I'm like, I got that in engineering, but my friends are people like Courtney or people like that didn't get that experience because they didn't pour into those. And I wish they did, even now it's like, dang, I wish they got it because it put you in a certain sector of job. Like, oh, I guess I just go and do this. When you had the experience, like, oh no, I got a bigger thing to do. I can do this. I know this person. I was able to network with this person. So it's a beautiful thing when you go to college. You gotta have some opening to when it's like, okay, intern, I got a network. You gotta kind of know.
Yeah, college, and this, a different conversation, but college, really kind of, it's not just about the classes and it's not about just going to school. Like it provides structure, but it also provides a lot of more resources that you wouldn't be able to receive if you didn't attend. So yeah, you make a very good point.
Right about that. It's just opened up a lot of doors for you. So in that, I would say, what is something you would like to see change in the world?
Just in the world or?
In the world in general.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's multiple things, both of us.
Right, I can give you a list. How long you want me to go? One most important thing I would like to see change is the way we treat one another, especially the way we treat minorities. I think that needs to change. Like that's first on the list. Like the way we treat other people, especially minorities, has to change. Like we can't continue going along the paths. Like, and this brings up the story I just saw today about the grocery store that got shot up. And 11 out of the 13 victims were Black. So it was obviously a racially motivated shooting. We have to stop that. We have to change anything associating around that. The way, I guess, opportunity, like having the ability to go to college, based on, how much money you make or, what you can afford. I would love to see things like that change so that more people can have opportunity and resources, so that they're just not limited to a select group of people or a select group of individuals. I would love to see that change. I would love to see gas prices go down again, and food in the grocery store, that needs to change because too much.
That stuff is so high to now, even with flights. Like I never seen flights this high.
Yeah,
Or like food or bread, like you're saying, like bread, gas prices, and there's just so much stuff that yes, it needs to change. But it's like it's the first time in life as an adult that I feel like we've been through so much. You just like, yo, what's gonna happen next? Like what's gonna happen next? And when you say that about education, I feel like it should be free for one. Like it's like an open topic. Like it should be free. We don't talk about it enough. But like I know a lot of people I went to school with that didn't get the experience that I got. And they a whole scientist or engineer and they work at some not making even the means that they should be making type thing because they didn't get the experience that I was able to get. Or like even not even back I go back home, I see people doing the same thing. It's like, granted, I don't show pity to it. It's like, dang, you had the opportunity I had, but in actuality, no, you didn't. Because it's like school's high. I can imagine a person trying to go to any college, even a community college, and the first thing you think about is, dang, I got to pay for this. Well, I might as well go get a job. And you never know what's gonna happen. So
and that job is going to take over your ability to, your focus, and there's so many things like being in school. Like, do you have to work while you're in school? Like, how much attention can you go to an internship? Can you focus on this? Or are you just working to pay your way through school? So yeah.
it's a big topic that I feel like nobody talks about enough. And they kind of hold it back. That's another reason. I started the show for so many reasons, but it's just like cool to be able to hop on and be like, okay, that guy's in media. This is what he done. Oh, like, wow, I got some same ideas as him, or her. And it's like, dang, there's so many people that you can see that it's like, it give you a different light to say, okay, I can do this too. I can do this too. So in that, if somebody that wanted to be in your shoes, what's some advice that you would give them?
I would say don't be afraid to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the person who I work for right now, their favorite saying, or a saying that I hear them say all the time, is show them that you're there. And I hear her say that all the time. And she always says that somebody, like I think her mother or somebody who raised her always said that to her, is show them that you're there. And I think about that all the time when in any space I'm in or in any room I'm in, or just if I had the opportunity to ask a question, anything, like just show the person that you're there, show somebody that you're interested, take initiative, speak up, even if it's not anything of substance, whether it's just an introduction, like show somebody that you're there, like just show them that you're present, because that can take you so far.
Definitely, that's right. And I feel like also in that, like in showing people that you're there, also don't be afraid to network. So many young people now, like I'm writing a book called The Art of Networking because of the fact that like so many people ask me like, I done help 5 people get jobs, right? And they get there and they like, man, I like the job. But like this, I'm like, man, speak up, network, like you never know who the person sitting next to you is. Or even if I interviewed you in the episode came, man, I really like that person, man. I'm like, okay, I know him, reach out to him, go ahead. He gonna talk back to you, email him, and it's like, why don't you network? Like, why are you so stubborn in that set, like to make your life better? You never know.
Connections can take you so far. It's crazy. My parents always used to tell me, it's not about what you know, it's always about who you know. And I used to hate that saying. I'm like, why are you always saying that? But it is very true. Like you never know who knows who and who that person knows. So yeah, show people that you're there, speak up, show interests, speak up. Anything else I would say? Don't be afraid to ask questions always. I think that goes very much with the show them that you're there. But be yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
That's really important, to be yourself. I feel like when you're not yourself, like if you're not gonna get the real reaction from other people. You know what I mean?
You're right about that. And that also tap into how you came on. You said you was vulnerable enough, even though we people, we family and stuff. He was like, yeah, I'm searching for a therapist and stuff like that. And a lot of people in the Black community now, we're shifting to, okay, mental health positivity, let's speak about it and things of that nature. And it's like, I ask friends now, like, hey man, how you doing? Because I started losing friends in the pandemic, like passing away from different things. And it's like, damn, I need to check on my people more because they might not be here. Or even myself, like going to get stuff. And I'm like, I feel, why is it such a stigma when it comes to mental health? Do you figure, why is it maybe be? I mean, it may be a stigma to it.
Mm, I think yeah, there's definitely a stigma to it. And I think it's more so associated with past and like our previous, how we seen our parents deal with things and their parents deal with things. And like, I think being more so men, there's all like, you know, clearly also a stigma. And obviously, clearly I'm trying to break it. But I think mental health is something that we obviously need to focus on, because just like you said, we noticed that over the pandemic, people are dropping off and dropping off, and some because not even COVID associated, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it hit me that obviously I need to focus and take care of myself, but it also allowed me to realize that I wasn't like necessarily giving a lot of people in my family, like my mother and father, the same grace, and saying like, these are also people too. Like, I look at them so highly as my parents, my mother and my father. Like, you know, they go through things too. So I also had to open that space and, you know, give them more grace too, as well as even myself. So yes, there's a lot of stigmas around mental health. Clearly, I didn't even mean to go into all that, but yeah.
You good? This is what the show for, man.
We're trying to break all that around here. So yeah, I always open the conversations around mental health, and I am actively looking for a therapist. And yeah, I want to see more of us win. I want to see more of us stay strong, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally, because that's just as important.
So, Linda, do you have any questions for me?
I wanted to get your input on somebody who wanted to be in your shoes. Because I feel like you have a lot, you do a lot. You work for a really big brand, you know, got your podcast going, and those are already two big things, but then you're also in the process of getting married and things like that. So I feel like you got a lot going on. So somebody who wants to be in your shoes right now, I want to hear any pieces of advice that you would give them. Because I feel like, you know, you're doing a lot.
Thank you, man. My biggest advice, and I always say this, and I feel like it's a country saying, but you probably heard it before. Keep the main thing the main thing. And first, that's what my belief in my religion. But outside of that, it's just my belief in myself first. Because I have to be the best Jeremy for me before I can be the best Jeremy for Courtney, my mom. I can go down a whole list of people. But when it comes to the show, it's like my it factor is like, hey, this is the reason why I'm doing this. I'm always in service to other people. And that's why I joined my fraternity. A lot of the things that connect in my life, it's a reason behind it. And that's culture for service, service for humanity. And I feel like that's the rent we pay for being on earth, helping other people. So in doing that, I just feel like I keep the balance by taking time to be with friends and family. You know, I reflect the lockdown. Like even going into therapy, like I was able to like talk and speak out about things to the time now that I don't even go as much. But every time I'll be like, all right, let me journal, let me go and write this down real quick, because I have to keep myself at the best place to be able to work, to be able to get on here and have these conversations. Because it takes you, sometimes you talk to people and you be like, dang, I was in the same position. I'm right there right now. Like I feel like I'm going to break. But in the midst of that, I have a beautiful woman that's going to be my wife soon. So I have to be the best me for her. And we be able to conversate. That's the biggest thing. We be able to talk it out, have friends like yourself, even people, even if we don't talk, it's like, man, dang, I got to interview him because they deserve flowers and I love what they're doing. So in the midst, and it's gonna sound crazy, and you probably feel the same way. But like by interviewing you, I like doing different things, I like learning about different people. It makes me feel like, dang, I'm good. Like I ain't okay. I ain't cool with being okay. I'm good. Like I'm solid. Cause I see somebody out here doing good. You know, they out here. They ain't struggling. They ain't want for nothing. And if anything I can help them with, it's cool. So that's kind of how I kind of look at it. But anybody that want to be in my shoes, I ain't gonna say they big shoes to fill. It's just something you should do. It's like you should do it. It shouldn't like, oh, I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna get all followers. Cause that's how I started, man. Destin. I really was like, I'm gonna get followers and it's gonna be big. But it takes time to grow something great. I don't want to rush to anything. It's like, all right, let me take my time and see how it grows, and just to be able to meet so many different people on so many different levels. Millionaires, like you like, okay, that's a million. All right, cool, man. Let me pick his brain. Let me see what's going on. Or you may meet somebody that is like feel like they're at the low as a low, but with this show you're able to bring them up. Like, oh no, you're not. I don't care if you're a ditch digger. Like my grandma used to say, be the best ditch digger because you never know what you got to tell somebody. Everybody has a story to tell. So that's my biggest thing, man. That's why I do what I do. And I'm glad you asked that question because anybody that need it, I definitely help them out. That's how.
No, I definitely agree with you on that because anytime I talk to you or every time I talk to you, I feel like I pick up something, like there's a good tidbit or a learning point. Like even last time we were just at lunch, we was at the Thai restaurant when I was in Atlanta, we were talking about like life insurance and homes and things like that. Like I pick up certain tidbits and like certain things. So I appreciate these conversations all the time, like all the time, because there's always certain tidbits that you can pick up from anyone. And I also will say, I love this platform and I like the broad spectrum of voices that you have on this platform. Like no matter how big or how small, like you really give people the opportunity to say anything. And like it really shows that somebody, no matter what point, what stage they are in life, has something of value or something of just substance to add, regardless of what it is. So we're grateful for that. And I'm giving you your flowers for allowing us the space to do all of this. So thank you.
Brother, thank you, man. But before we close out, we can close right there. Do you have anything you want to tell the people? Anybody you want to shout out? Anything like that?
Oh, not really. I don't have a lot going on right now. I'm always gonna shout out my good friend Courtney. Shout out my good friend Jordan. Yeah, and I don't know. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of me. Follow me on Instagram, Destin Torrance, TikTok, all that. Yeah.
Ooh,
So
yes.